I'm joined now by one of my colleagues at Wesley Mission from our family services work, Nigel Lindsay. Nigel, it's good to see you.
Thanks, Keith.
You've been here many, many times at Wesley Fair, haven't you, really, over the years? And you're taking another day off to enjoy yourself here today.
It's always a fun time to come down to Wesley Fair.
Yeah. So what do you like to do? Eat or what?
Well, I went downstairs, saw some toys. I think the kids will go right for Christmas, but those chocolate cookies over there, I've got my eye on.
Oh, very good indeed. Clearly, I've been talking earlier in the show about the work at Edward Eagle Lodge because that's the special project of Wesley Fair. But you've got responsibility for the whole of family services. I mean, what does that mean, really? Just trying to explain that, because it could look as though it's just about a nuclear family. I mean, what does it mean to be looking after family services?
Sure, so it's pretty broad. So you talked about Edward Eagle Lodge, so that's our homeless services there, so that fits into there. We've got our counselling programs. We've got our foster care and adoption programs, which is quite a large area of our work. Also our prevention programs, a whole lot of things fit into that.
Look, I think the adoption one's worth just talking about for a moment, because we've been involved in foster care for a long time. And it used to be very hard to go down the road of adoption, and it still is hard. But I'm pleased at some of the changes that are coming about. Do you feel a bit that way about the fact that they're talking now about making it a little easier for people to go down the road of adoption?
Yeah, absolutely. So the sector's moved on to, it's about permanency. So if you've got a child in care, we're trying to make permanent decisions as soon as possible and a really good outcome. Yeah. So obviously we start with keeping them at home if we can, and restoration if that's not the case. What's the next best permanent option? Yeah. Adoption. Yeah. So,
and even adoption doesn't mean that you eradicate a family from the past, does it? It means it's got that there. How has the work evolved over the years in terms of family and community services? How was it?
Well, even when I started, so I started in Wesley 20 odd years ago, even then it was very much...
Is that all?
24 years ago, actually. We, even when I started then, it was group homes, it was... wasn't supportive work of our families. These days it's really about how can we treat the family as part of a community, and keep that family as intact as possible. And if children do come into care, we try and restore them back home. We work with their families.
And it's more than just doing a job for government, isn't it? It's a case of really creating family contexts in which people can meaningfully.
That's right. I talk to my team about that funding doesn't tell you what to do, it enables you to do what you do. And we've got our own vision of what we think community should look like, and our funding helps us do that. But we've certainly got our own ethos in that sort of work.
And from the earliest days, the Christian work at Dalmar, which is like a name synonymous with the work that we do, we don't eradicate that. It's Wesley Dalmar still.
That's correct, yes.
That we hold.
That's correct, yeah.
Yeah. Now, what about this homelessness? Because I've been talking to people about it now, Veronica and other people, and talking to them, and Vanessa, and saying to them, what does it really mean to be engaged in homelessness? How do you see that from this bigger perspective? Because you've got a general oversight of it.
I do. It's certainly part of the work I do. I've got some great people like Vanessa that are very operational. Yeah. It's really about providing as much dignity as we can to people and helping them solve their homeless issues, but treat them as the individual person that they are.
And you've gone obviously through many different hoops to be where you are today. You know, you came to start a youth worker, was that right?
Correct, yes. You've got a good memory.
Yeah, youth worker. I'm a lot younger than you, of course. You realise that. The truth is that now you have that oversight, but it is different, isn't it? You know, from the perspective that you're at now, like I'm at, when you're at management, you know that you've got to keep your eye on making sure it works, that it's financially viable. But in the end, we're still concerned about Christian care, aren't we?
Absolutely, we are. And the biggest change for me as my career's gone on, and I'm less hands-on, which I do miss. It's the amount of trust you have to have other people to fulfil those sorts of roles that you normally would do yourself. And letting go of that's quite hard. But I think I bring a particular a way of work that I've done a lot of that work. So I think I'm well placed to lead that.
And I think if trust isn't painful, you're not really doing it right. It must be a bit painful because you're concerned about the people you're entrusting to folks, aren't you, in that way? What about 2019? Any special exciting things ahead?
Well, we're still looking forward to the Edward Eagle Lodge redevelopment happening, so we're very excited about that.
You, me too.
So really, and so's the whole team. Like that's one of the big highlights for them. The other one for me is also our adoption. We're looking for adoption accreditation, so we're hoping that'll come through by then. We can still do adoptions now, but
But through the government, if you like it, if I say it that way.
we do. So we did 13 adoptions last financial year, and I expect that's going to probably double over the next financial year as we become that accredited agency. It's quite exciting work for us.
So this great family occasion at Wesley Mission, I want to thank you for the work that you do, and the troops with you, you know, because they're the ones who really do the work, aren't they? The face-to-face workers, the operational delivery people. Thank you, thank God for them and the work that they do. And I do hope that 2019 is fulfilling for you and gives you the opportunity to see new and exciting things develop as the time moves on. So I'm pleased about that.